Damn, I messed that up big time. Big time. Big time. Oh man. I'm sick now. I'm sick. I had this whole thing going. I had this whole thing going. Oh, it's not, I can't do it now. Can't do it now. I'll do it the next time. I'll do it the next time. Damn. It was so funny. I was pretending to be on the phone with Chris again, and telling him that, I had to go, had an old podcast to do, and I handed the number over to Amber and she'll ring you after the trial. But it would have been funny back then, but it's not funny now. So, damn, I ruined it. Anyway, welcome to the Tarda Zone. And we are here to talk about and to read that Doctor Who Redacted um, um, article. Damn, I'm actually sick about that now. The, that was comedy gold, man. I was on a roll, and now I've just messed it up. But what can I do? What can I do? Doesn't always work out. But anyway, we are here. Obviously, I touched on it briefly in a couple of streams, but we haven't actually read the full article. So what we'll do is we'll read the article. But as you know, I have been very critical because I hate the media. The media think that this is a good selling point when you should be focusing on what kind of story you actually want to tell. The challenges of a YouTuber. Yeah. We got Chuck in the chat as well. Remember, we do have some, and I've just realized now what I'm going to do from now on as well, because I forgot. So when I put in the links in the link description, I'm going to put the links to the Facebook groups in the link description as well. I should have bloody done that. I was just about to Facebook you and tell you were muted. Oh man, that was actually a funny way to start it, and all it was. Damn. Anyway. Let's get into this article. It's in the link description if you want to have a look, and obviously we'll read it. I'll give me opinions as we're talking about it, and then we'll do a final summary. I'm not going to be on for too long now for this because we're only reading one article tonight, and I think we've caught up on most of the articles now because I've had a look. There doesn't seem to be any more new articles out at the moment, so we're good. So I think we've caught up now. So let's get into this anyway. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, folks. And it's nice to see you guys in the chat. So we have Chuckzilla in the chat. We got PD Rich, and we got Bobby in the chat as well. And Sigma Later, if I'm correct, is also in the chat. Yes. Okay. Right. And yeah, and we've got Shimp Mister, if I'm saying that right. I haven't listened to Redacted. It's aimed at a tiny demographic, which I'm not part of. Yeah, which we have no problem about. We spoke about in the last stream. It's just that it's the focus. We'll read the article anyway. Here's the headline. Anyway, we'll get straight into this, and it's again, it's when you focus on certain things instead of focusing on the story and then letting people find out who these characters are, right? See, that's the thing. They're telling us what gender these characters are, or what their sexuality is, or sexual preference is, instead of letting us figure all that out for ourselves. Just concentrate on telling us what the story is about so we get hooked in, and then we can go and find out ourselves, that sort of way. So this is the headline from The Guardian. Very gay, very trans. The incredible Doctor Who spin-off that's breathing new life into the franchise. Now, as I said, they're saying breathing new life into the franchise, but that's what Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was supposed to do. So are they now admitting that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor didn't breathe any new life into the franchise? We know the answer to that. Obviously, it didn't. It killed the franchise. But that's what Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was supposed to do in the first place, breathe new life into the franchise. But apparently now this spin-off podcast is breathing new life into the franchise. So let's see what they have to say. So new podcast, Doctor Who Redacted, weaves a transgender-led regional storyline around the TARDIS. Its theme explains how the zingy, sparky show put 3 queer women front and centre. Dear old Doctor Who fans have been in the doldrums. The pesky pandemic caused production delays, panicked rewrites, and a truncated series. Ratings have slumped, buzz has been badly lacking, and the critical kickings have been administered. Oh my God, this article is not holding back, is it? Everything that we've been actually saying about the series itself, the main series, I should say. But all is not lost for the BBC franchise. Apart from the imminent return of showrunner Russell T. Davies, there's another ray of light, and it comes in the form of a transgender-led podcast. Written by Juno Dawson, Doctor Who Redacted was launched along the Easter TV special Legend of the Sea Devils, and it has been described by producer-director Ella Watts as a very gay, very trans, and sitting to the left of the main show. Well, I'll say this. At least she has come out to say that this show is basically for people on the left. Okay, so credit where credit is due there. But again, so far this article has told me absolutely nothing about the actual audio and what it's about. What is the story? Yeah, it's just focused on the gender, sexuality, or sexual preference of the 3 ladies that are in this show. Right? And this is why we have a problem now. The people say, oh no, it's transphobic. And no. This is what I'm trying to say. We know nothing about the story. Right? You're focusing on that and you're not focusing on the story. Let us find out these things for ourselves. That's how these things used to work. Right? But she's come out and basically said it's a show. Well, she has said the show swings more to the left, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's obviously for a certain audience, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But that's what they focused on. They haven't focused on telling us what the story is. So let's see with what information they give us here. Can we figure out what the story is going to be about? The 10-part BBC Sounds audio drama follows 3 best mates who make the Blue Box Files. So basically, just like what Clive did in 2005 in Christopher Eccleston's season, first episode Rose, where Clive had put this whole dossier together for the Doctor, because he was obviously trying to find out who the Doctor was. So it's a paranormal conspiracy podcast about a certain police box popping up throughout history. The tongue-in-cheek theorizing suddenly gets all too real when they're stuck in an action-packed alien adventure of their own. So basically, they've been sitting around talking about conspiracy theories with each other, but then suddenly, obviously something happens on the earth, and then they're dragged into their own real life adventure. Now, that actually sounds interesting. Let's see if there's any more details to actually go with that, though. So there they are there. Ella is making a hashtag Doctor Who redacted, and we've got the cat is finally out of the bag, but produced and directed a very gay, very trans official BBC Doctor Who fiction podcast by Juno Dawson, starring Charlie Craig's. I can't pronounce that name. I do apologize. Lois Chimimbe, and comes out next Sunday. Okay. So let's see. We won't look at the replies. Obviously, we're just here to talk about the article. The friends and the university dropouts who now live in the UK city, different UK cities, but stay connected via their hobby podcast. The leader of the gang and the drama is trans woman Cleo. Okay, why can't you just say the leader of the gang is Cleo, and let us find out through the stories who she is? See, again, yeah, the focus seems to be on the fact that she's trans, right? But you don't need to do that. You can say the leader of the gang, Chloe, and then when people listen to the audio, right, they'll get a surprise. Oh, wow, Chloe is trans. I didn't know that. You know. So she lives in a South London estate and is saving up for surgery. See, there you go. We could have learned that actually in the audio itself, right? So she plays a transgender activist, Charlie Craigs, a scene stealer in her first ever acting role, who describes her casting as a huge step for the trans community. I'm so honoured to be part of something sacred to so many. Juno Dawson also had Craigs in mind to play her protagonist. She's such a force, says Dawson. The label trans activist can be a club with which to be trans people. It's a dehumanizing term, but Charlie uses her voice so cleverly with humor and honesty. When it came to casting, I said to Ella, "Look, we can either audition Charlie Craigs or find a trans actor and tell her to play it like Charlie Craigs." There were some nerves at the BBC about hiring someone untrained, but I'm so glad we stuck to our guns. So the BBC were nervous about this casting because this person has never acted before. Right, but I'll make a point, right? Is that fair to other trans actors or actresses out there that have actually acted before and are experienced? I mean, I'm just making the point, it's there'd be trans people out there that are in the acting community that have been acting a long time and are overlooked for a newcomer, a first timer, a newbie as such. What like they call us on games when we do games, you're a noob. Yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Founder of the podcast within a podcast is devoted box spotter and resident believer Abby, who is bisexual and is a full-time carer for her sick mother in Glasgow. The lineup is complete by skeptical Shauna, an out and proud lesbian studying computering at her local college in Sheffield. But again, the focus just seems to be on their sexual preference or their gender. Why not let the audience figure that out for themselves? I'm not being unreasonable here. Let the audience figure this out for themselves. It'll make it more exciting for the people that this show is aimed at. you know. Interestingly, this regional diversity is what came first for Dawson. Being from Bradford myself, I adore hearing regional accents on the BBC, she said. I love that Doctor Who has lived its life in Cardiff, Sheffield, and Liverpool in recent years. Their regionality isn't there enough in BBC drama, which is often kind of placeless. So before I even thought about their gender or sexual identity, it was important to me that they were from different parts of the UK. But you said before you even thought about gender or sexual identity, but you've literally said in the last paragraph that it was either going to be Charlie Craig's or nobody else, basically. So you were thinking of of gender and sexual identity. Anyway, Shauna was specified in the script as being a black or mixed race woman from the north, whereas Abby was always going to be from Glasgow, which is one of my favorite cities. And that's Juno Dawson, a Doctor Who has always appealed to the LGBTQ plus people, which is true. Which is true. Nobody denies that. We have fans from different religions, different creeds, different backgrounds, different identities, as is being shown, uh, different genders. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But again, as I said, you're creating these types of works. If you just focus on that, as I said, you got to let the audience figure this stuff out for themselves when they're watching. And you know, it, I just don't get why this has to be the main focus. Anyway, the three loser teens, the three loser tears as they self decrep. Oh, I can never say that word. The pre the style themselves. Who gives a crap? Discover, why do you always have to use some weird feckin' English words? Can you not just speak plain English? Some of us have problems pronouncing certain words, pronunciation. Discover that everyone who has ever met the Doctor has disappeared, and their very existence being forgotten. They're being redacted from reality. Is there an algor algor allegorical significance here? Jesus Christ. Somewhat, says Dawson, the notion of being silenced or erased feel part of the online body language nowadays. But you see, I can see what you're doing with this story now. So what you're basically doing is that you're kind of projecting your own insecurities and you're putting it in story form because you believe that that you're being silenced and erased in society. See that? Very clever though. Very clever way of doing it though. Ironically, the Blue Box Files is so unsuccessful that our heroines are last names on the hit list, making Cleo, Abby, Shauna the world's only hope. Okay, right. They must race against time to uncover the truth and avert the end of the world type danger. As the drama unfolds, they are joined by familiar faces. Okay, voices. Most notably, the 13th Doctor herself. Yay! And reprising their Doctor Who spin off roles are Rani Kadara, sorry, again, the Sarah Jane Adventures, I know who they're talking about, and Units Kate Stewart, uh, Pet Ronella, Osgood. Why can you just say Osgood, you bleeding idiots? And Madame Vastra. This article is actually doing my fucking nut in because me pronunciations, because I had a fucking speech fucking impediment years ago, is fucking doing me head in. As well as the Time Lords alloys, certain well-known monsters making appearances too. Ah, brilliant. It's such a thrill to play these beloved characters, says Dawson. It's like borrowing someone else's toy box, it is. It's at least you're admitting it. As long as you give the toys back in mint condition, you can just go mad. I was in the next room as Jodie was recording my dialogue, and I admit I cried. I never cry. I never thought in a million years I'd get to see the doctor reading dialogue I'd written for them. And there's a picture of them there looking all happy and cheery and all chuffed with themselves. But the podcast apparently is not peppered with cameos. It also nods to Who storylines past and present. TARDIS companions Martha, Ryan, Graham, and Yaz get name checked. So do previous TV plot details, such as the dodgy dieting company Adipose Industries, and that time an entire hospital got teleported by talking space rhinos. They're called the Jadoon. Yeah, Jadoon. I mean, you could have saved a few letters there if you had just wrote Jadoon. Not that Dawson wanted the podcast to be all about pleasing the purists. Of course not, because I do agree. You don't have to please all of the purists. I'm not saying you do, but the fact that you actually have to come out and say that, you're basically saying, look, this is not for you, sort of attitude. You just without actually saying it's not for you. I didn't want it to be too heavy on fan service, she said. The reason Doctor Who's been running for nearly 60 years is because it's always kept the door open to new fans. Well, this service certainly didn't. Especially with Doctor Who, with new Doctor Who, there's an invitation to come in and join the party. But there are Easter eggs and little callbacks. And I don't mind Easter eggs and callbacks, I actually don't mind myself, to be honest with you. I think some of them do be fun. The girls have a podcast investigating the legend of the Doctor, so it makes sense that they'll be hunting for clues at the same time. It tells its own story. You don't need to have seen a lot of Doctor Who to understand Redacted. Fair enough. Do I have to read this whole article? I mean, what else do you have to write about it, mate? So the high stakes narrative is cleverly interwoven with the trio's personal lives. Abby might have a controlling boyfriend, the man baby. See, right. See, this is the thing. This is the thing now, right? You get people watching this article, right? And you get some long-term fan that happens to be a man that says, do you know what, I might give Redacted a go and see what it's like. You've now lost them. You've now lost them. Because you can't help yourselves. So you had to put a boyfriend in and call him a man baby. Because isn't that all men do nowadays? Isn't it? All we seem to do is moan, apparently. We're not the only ones. You just choose to believe that it's always blokes moaning, right? There's plenty of women out there that are moaning about what happened to Doctor Who, but you refuse to look at them and just focus on all the blokes. But again, you just shot yourself in the foot there. Lurking in the background, but she has Shauna have a sweet will. They won't. They romantic subplot. So let me get this correct. She has a boyfriend, but you're gonna make her cheat on him with a girl because he's a man baby. What a way to sell your product. What a way to sell your product. I'm telling you, this is why things like this will always fail because you just can't help yourselves. It's so stuck up and arrogant that you can't see what you are doing. You cannot see you either do or you do it deliberately. But if you want people to tune in, this is not the way to go about it. But anyway, let's continue, right? So they might have this subplot romantic relationship. Well, it'll probably, and I will say this and I'll give it credit, it's probably going to be better developed than Jodie Whittaker's relationship with the doctor's relationship with the current companion, Yaz. So let's give them credit for that because it probably will be done properly there. Despite class clown Cleo insisting she's only here for the sass, babe, we learned that her mother kicked her out when she started to transition in her teens. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ almighty. But she's now seriously ill and is trying to reconcile. It's hard not to feel for Chloe's character, Craig said. You have to be some sort of psychopath not to empathise with what she's going through with her mum. But you couldn't make her mum a nice person that was accepting of her transition. You had to bring in a mother that rejected her transition. So you're basically telling teens out there, you're probably better off not saying anything just in case your parents kick you out. I knew I wanted to do this article, but I didn't think it was going to be this. It started off half decent. I said, yeah, they are focusing, but they were giving us a bit more about the story. But now you can see what this is actually all about, folks. This is about basically, giving out about everybody in society that rejects trans and trans rights and stuff. That's what this is designed to do. But it's gone the wrong way about it. Absolutely gone the wrong way about it. It's like walloping people over the heads. Dawson agrees. I wanted to highlight that Cleo had a difficult old life, but like Charlie has developed a thick skin to hide her pain. That's something that Russell T Davies did particularly well. If you make the humans' lives feel real and layered, then somehow the sci-fi feels more real as well. Well, you see, that's actually true. The making humans feel real and layered, and it does because RTD did it. It actually did do it very well. So, but I'm telling you, I don't know. I'd probably have to listen to this thing. Is this thing free? I might have to give it a listen to see what this is all about, man. And see if they actually do focus on story, or is this just going to be all given out about society? There's something delicious about seeing a Yeti on the tube or a Dalek going over Tower Bridge. It's the extraordinary mix with the ordinary. I wanted characters to feel like your next door neighbors. So she scripted 4 to 10 episodes herself, with the rest credited to new writers, again with strong emphasis on diversity and reanalogy. So there you go. So that's the focus. The focus is not on the story. It's being said there, right? Right there in black and white. Again, right? She scripted 4 to 10 episodes herself. The rest is credited to new writers, again with strong emphasis on diversity and regionality. So the focus is on diversity and regionality. That's your selling point. And BBC won the White Doctor Who's IP. is on its last legs. That's not your selling point. Your selling point is, here's 3 women. All of these 3 women all have secrets. Come and join us and discover their secrets while they go on this amazing adventure. Yeah? That's your selling point. For lifelong... No, hold on. I skipped a bit. With Redacted, best-selling author Dawson becomes the first Doctor Who franchise, first openly trans lead writer. For a long life Whovian who calls the show her first love, that's a big deal. When I watched Bonnie Langford, who played companion Mel as a kid, I decided I wanted to be her, she said. And then Sophie Aldrich came along as Ace, an even stronger character who killed Daleks with a baseball bat, long before I knew I was a girl. I knew I was Mel and Ace. The show had a huge impact on me, so it's a privilege to put my own little flag on the landscape. It's not the fucking moon landing, love. It's not the moon landing. Whittaker has been enthused about working with Dawson and Craig, saying their energy is ace. Oh, great words, Whittaker. Could you not come up with something a little bit more like, it's an honor and a privilege, and the stories are great. Their energy is ace. Redacted is indeed irresistibly sparky. Wow. Characters are powered by protein shakes and oat milk lattes. Episodes run to a pacey 20 minutes. The dark conspiracy plot is leavened by the script with zings with drag race lingo and gags about alien penises in jars. Okay. Harry Styles is hailed as an honorary lesbian. Live, laugh, love, culture and boomers who leave voicemails are roundly ridiculed. Oh, of course we are. Thanks very much. Yeah, of course we are. Because again, this isn't for us. But you have made that clear. So in all fairness, I can't really say on because you have made it clear it isn't for us. But I mean, this is your selling point. You're telling us that you're going to take the piss out of everybody. Right? And fair enough. You'll get everybody in the LGBTQ community that will love this, right? But whether you like it or not, and I have to break this to you, they're a small fraction of the whole overall fandom, and there's like millions of Doctor Who fans out there, so you're kind of alienating those Doctor Who fans because you're saying, well, if you even listen, we're going to take the piss out of you. It's like a sci-fi It's like a sci-fi remix of Mae Martin's "Feel Good" or "It's a Sin" with aliens also saying "la." As such, it's going down a storm. I was nervous because the fandom are so passionate, says Dawson. I've been that judgmental fan myself, but people have been incredibly positive. That goes for the queer and trans community too. And a lot of messages that I'm getting online are from people saying, I feel seen. Well, we're not blind. Like, I didn't know we were all blind. You aren't excluded. Nobody's excluded from this Doctor Who fandom. I don't know where you are getting all of this. Right, maybe in society it feels like that things are not, that doesn't always go the way you want it to go. But we've all been through that. We've all been through that. It's not just exclusive to the LGBTQ plus community that they have struggles and struggles in society. Everybody in everyday life has. Everybody does. Doctor Who has flirted with gay subtext since its 2005 reboot. Queer characters include Captain Jack Harkness. I'm surprised she's brought him up. John Barrowman, because she's all fucking hate him. And Madame Vastra's wife, Jenny. Again, I brought that up as well. Two of my favourite characters, Vastra and Jenny. You know, I've nothing against same-sex relationships in Doctor Who. The difference is Chris Chibnall can't write them, and clearly all you're going to do is take the piss out of every character that isn't LGBTQ+. That's your selling point. Well done. Let me see. Yeah, we had Madame Vastra Jenny. But it wasn't until 5 years ago that the franchise introduced its full-time LGBTQ plus companion, Bill Potts. She was swiftly followed by Whittaker as the Doctor's the first female incarnation, recently revealing her feelings for her companion Yaz. Yeah, that whole storyline is a lot of bollocks because there was no groundwork made for it, and actually, if you think that that's how real relationships go, well then it's I have to laugh at, just because there's a lot more work that goes into relationships, and as you said yourself, there's a lot of layers and human stuff that goes on. Love isn't just a thing that you switch on and off. Just saying. And Bill Potts was a great character. I like Bill Potts, but she told us she was lesbian in one episode and we got it. But then again, they kept hammering home that message every 5 minutes. You don't need to. We know. Okay, she's a lesbian. It doesn't affect how I feel about Bill Potts as a companion. It's no big deal. So what? So what? Don't care. She's lesbian. Wow, brilliant. She's a good companion, right? She even saved the Doctor. Anyway, he's go about it the wrong way. He's the really, I have to say, he's shooting yourselves in the foot. If this had been all done properly in the first place, there wouldn't be the crap that's going on in the fandom. The show received an Ali Award at the 2017 Pink News Awards for its long-standing LGBT inclusiveness. Now that Redacted cast and crew of diverse queer women are saving the universe, it's another step forward for representation, because it's not about the story. Listen, as I said, you could have let the audience find all this out for themselves, but you have to make sure that everybody knows in articles. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, when they do a trailer for Doctor Who, they don't give the whole fucking plot away, or tell you that, oh, look at this character, and look what this character is, and this, that. No. Very poor. Doctor Who has always appealed to the LGBT. You keep saying this, we know, of course it has, but if you listen to people on Twitter and you listen to people on all the other social media apps, they will disagree with you and say that it hasn't been inclusive, because this is why we got Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, right? Because it was supposed to be space for all, inclusive and diverse for all. Yeah. We know how that all turned out. There's something so enduring about the idea that if you're living a slightly humdrum life, this person in a blue box can whisk you away for an adventure in time and space. Many of the Doctor's sidekicks have been downtrodden or marginalized. Seriously, give me a gun so I can just end my misery. Even if they weren't outwardly queer. So to take the subtext and make it text, that means a lot. We don't need to make it a metaphor anymore. We can have 3 queer women front and center. Well, good luck to that podcast. I'm pretty sure it'll get millions of views. But this is what's wrong with Doctor Who right now at the moment. There's too much emphasis on all of this instead of focusing on the story. So besides the adipose and the other stuff we heard about, what is it actually about? Can anybody tell me? Like, it just gave us little snippets, but it was all about their gender and stuff and stuff. I tell you, it even says that it's going to take the piss out of society. But what this is, right? This is a series that I believe is written by someone who's projecting their own insecurities on the fandom, and putting it into story form. And we already know how that's went because Chris Chibnall has told us that the Timeless Child was linked to his childhood and his adoption. And see how that went. It didn't go down well. Now, as I said, the article states that this is a show that swings more to the left. And that's fine. But they focused all of their energy on telling us who these characters are rather than let us find out for ourselves. And this is the biggest flaw of this whole era of Doctor Who and everything connected to it, right? They just... And then to actually say that it's going to slag off its audience if they're not members of the LGBTQ plus community. So basically, they're going to slag all of us. One of them has a boyfriend who's a man baby. Right? But they had to use the word man baby. You know, they couldn't say that his boyfriend was annoying or anything like that. See, they're deliberately trying to invoke. This is someone that's definitely projecting and that wrote something. And for some reason, BBC has decided to do this. Instead of actually, if you're wanting to go down that route, getting someone in that can actually, you know, write a good story and let the audience find this out for themselves. I don't think I'm being unreasonable here. I think that it shot itself in the foot. And again, as I said, this show, this podcast on BBC Sounds, I think these people forget that there's millions of Doctor Who fans out there, but you've narrowed down who your audience is. So, and then you've come out with the stuff that you come out with. I think you've shot yourself in the foot. It's just, I don't know. I know a couple of people that would not be happy to be pandered to like this. It's it's not done for the right it's not done for the right reasons either. It's clear if you read the article again. Look, I got stuck on a few words and I apologize for that. But you read that article again, and what comes off the page, right, when you're hearing the words of Juno Dawson, is arrogance and self entitlement and projection. It's all there. And they've managed somehow to put that all onto paper, and now it's going to be acted out for everybody to hear. Obviously, well, spoke out, voice acted out for everybody to hear. I mean, when are you going to learn that things like this can succeed if you go about it the right way? If you focus on different things, let the audiences, you have to let the audience figure. See, you're alienating people out there, and it's not fair. Doctor Who was supposed to be, as Juno said in the article herself, she's been a Doctor Who fan all her life. So obviously it hasn't been restricted to the LGBTQ plus community like people are saying on social media that they never felt included in the show. Nobody's ever told any woman or any member of that community that they're not welcome into Doctor Who. Who are we to tell anybody that they're not welcome? You know, except the Jodie Whittaker fans, and I will say that not all of them, but the ones that have been engaging in the behaviour that they've engaged in, yeah, they can go. But nobody has ever said that fans are not welcome. We welcome. Doctor Who has had that knack, like Juno said, to bring in new fans. But it's just the same old bollocks all the time. They just, and you can tell. Read that article, folks. I some words I got stuck on. Read that article for yourselves. I'm right. You could just feel the arrogance come off the page, and basically, it's like, well, feck you. It's not for the purists. So they've made it clear, not for the purists, right? It's going to rip the piss out of society and rip the piss out of people that have penises, aliens and penises and stuff like that. So not only is it not going to be well written, it's going to be crass as well. They're going to make penis jokes, and we know how Ghostbusters 2016 went with their vagina jokes. They didn't work, and that movie bombed. I mean, look, they're still making the same mistakes over and over and over again. When are they going to learn that people actually will listen to your product if you actually write something decent, and don't focus on gender and identity? Let fans find that out for themselves when they're listening to the story. And then bringing in people, and again, the one part of that article that did annoy me, and I'm going to come out straight and say it: you've given a first-time trans actor a job when there's other trans actors out there that have worked their skin off, right? Have worked their absolute hardest and have done acting roles, and you've overlooked them to bring in a newbie. And even saying in the article that the BBC were nervous about, but you stuck to your guns. But you overlooked someone in the trans community that has actually worked their ass off for years. For years. Makes no sense to me. Trans activist, not an actor. Yeah, well, that's how they were described in the art. Yeah. They actually describe themselves as a trans activist, don't they? I just lost for words. I'm just lost for words. I mean, look, it's not. I'm not going to listen to it anyway now. I mean, not after reading that. I mean, maybe I should, just out of curiosity, to actually hear how bad it actually is. But if I do, I feel like that my brain cells might start dying and I might become stupid. And you can already tell that they're not going to be great stories because they're focusing. They've told you what they're focusing on, right? And then even one of them, the mother threw them out basically because they wanted to transition. So this is someone that's basically either their own mother, or they know trans people out there whose mothers have turned their backs on their child. But it's all projection, folks, and it's all put into an audio. And of course, you know what side of the fandom will love this. And I can guarantee you, I'd actually be very surprised if a lot of people from the LGBTQ plus community actually listen to this. I'll say it'll be more the Tasman stands and stuff like that. The people that have been shipping Whitaker and Whitaker and Mandip Gill's characters. I reckon they'll be the demographic that will listen to this. But I think the older gay, lesbian, and trans people out there, bisexual people out there, this won't be their cup of tea, because they'll see right through this. They'll see right through this. It's absolutely disgraceful, to be quite honest with you, that nobody is calling this out and actually saying why isn't this being done properly? Why aren't you respecting the community that you're even part of? It just seems to be all, what's the word? It just seems to be all cynical and manufactured, and not I just but look, this is, what can I say? Got absolutely no interest in listening to it. I'm busy producing a Doctor Who audio with Black Glove Studios, and that's from Lee, who is, and I don't think he would mind me saying this to people, who is a gay man. So he's no interest in it, and that's supposed to be one of the demographic that you're supposed to be reaching out there, and they're even telling you that they don't want this. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Shot yourself in the foot. And see, when they write articles, how many episodes have dropped actually? Because I'm gonna say something very interestingly here. There's a lot of articles being written about it, so I mustn't be actually doing too well. And can you actually find out how many people have actually listened to this? Because that'd be interesting. I would like to see how many people have actually watched each episode so far. I would like to see the numbers. Right, I'll do a bet from the time, ladies. I demand to see how many women writers you have for Big Finish. So, on that token, me, as the TARDIS on, I would like to see the viewership numbers, or how many people have actually watched this audio. Show us that as a success. Because when people start writing articles and journalists start writing articles like that, and they bring the person in that's done it, then you know that's something. And look, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes. You've been here long enough. You know how the industry works, right? They always do little things. I'd love to see how many people actually tune in to watch this. I mean, 1 million would be a good number for them. I would actually admit that, because the main show is getting less than 2. So 1 million would be actually a decent number. But how many is actually listening? I don't know. It's just, but look, you know, as I said, it's not my cup of tea. I definitely won't be, you know. I'm actually kind of curious in a way, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking I can't do that to myself. I'm watching Superman and Lois right now. Do I really want to do that? Because I might make myself stupid. I won't be able to figure out what's going on in Superman and Lois. It actually sounds less enticing now than the new Halo series. says PD Rich. And Chuckzilla is not happy with lower decks. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, that's come here. That's a disgrace as well. But I'm not going to even get into that. But look, at the end of the day, as I said, the show has made it. This podcast has made it clear who its audience is. So yeah, I just wanted to read the article because when I seen it, someone sent it to me. I just briefly went through it, but when I see some of the things, oh Jesus, I have to read this. I have to read this. That's because there is no such thing as an LGBT community. That's just a code for the TQ plus activists, says Problem Big. And thank you for setting that straight. I don't think where my thoughts are on it, Lee. I back you up, mate. It's just so everybody knows what I'm saying. Anyway, let me see. So that's it basically. I don't know what your thoughts on it. Would any of you guys that are listening tune in? Let me know. Would you do that to yourselves? Would you listen? Would you listen out of curiosity, morbid curiosity, as they say? Would you? I don't know. It's an unusual one. I've never seen an article like that where when you're reading it, you can feel the hate from the person that's not only writing the article but the person that they're interviewing. Lee says no chance in hell. Not a chance in hell, I should say. Yeah. Well, there you go. Look, there's nothing more really to say except, I wish it the best of luck, but, we'll get. I don't think it'll go past the current run. The Guardian article was less tedious than the Redacted actually sounded. Said, "Oh, don't tell me you put yourself through it. God love you." Doctor Who is supposed to be for everyone, not just one group, says Lee, which is true. But apparently they've been left out, and they don't feel part of the fandom, so they have to have their own thing. Even though the person that wrote it said they've always felt part of the Doctor Who community. It's contradiction after contradiction, mate. At this stage, it's just become a parody of itself now. I don't want to watch Doctor Who used to be hateful. Yeah. Anyway. Interesting. It's going to be an interesting few years in this fandom now when RTD comes back. We'll see what other rhetoric they'll come out with now when RTD arrives. I just don't know, man. But anyway, yeah, look, there's nothing more really to say on the article. I'm just kind of a bit baffled by it all. I mean, you're trying to sell something or you're trying to get people to watch something, and that's the way you go about it. But as I said, I wish them luck. Anyway, right, I'm off to bed. Chuckzilla, good to see you back. Yeah, it is good to see Chuckzilla back. It is indeed. I'm going to go off now and head to bed myself. Long day today. So, yeah, but it's nice to see him back. And it's nice to see you all pop in for this stream. I'm actually pissed that you didn't see the start of that stream properly, or the sound was on, because that was hilarious. But if you haven't seen the end of me last stream, I'm not telling you a word of a lie. Everybody went that last stream in stitches. If you want to see something funny, go back to the end of the last stream. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. I would rather watch Thunderbirds than listed to this. Compared to this, TB would be more exciting than sex. Oh my God. And night, Rachel and Sigma. Good night, PD Rich, and good night, everybody else. We got Chuckzilla there as well. Good night, Chuckzilla. Nice to see you again, as I said. Gonna head off now and go to bed. Who we got? And that's everybody else. And Simp is there as well. Is there? Yeah. Roy, good night to you all. Unfortunately, I don't have a funny way to end this one. But you know, I'm sure I'll probably come up with new material the next time. You know. All right. So oh, we got the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and they've popped in, and I'm just about to leave. But yeah. So as I said, go and check out that article. Apparently the original, but I just read the Guardian one because that stuck out to me. But go and check it out. And if anybody actually here has listened to Doctor Who Redacted, I know Unknown 289 has, and he was joking by saying it was brilliant, but apparently it's rubbish, he said. So yeah, we'll leave it there. I will talk to you all very, very soon. PD Rich said it's medically proven sleeping is more exciting than Doctor Who Redacted. It probably is. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Oh, sorry, we got a phone call. Oh, hold on. Oh, hello. Oh, hi, Juno. What? Oh, you're after being watching the TARDIS on. Oh, you haven't liked what I said. Oh, well, you're very upset. Oh, yeah. I'm a man, baby. Yeah. Do you know what, Juno? Yeah. Sorry, I've got better things to do. So I'll just say goodnight to you there. And next time you're gonna do something for BBC Sounds, could you actually do something that's gonna appeal to all your audience? What? But what? Do you all feel left out? About Doctor Who's being inclusive forever, Juno. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Juno. Jesus Christ. I nearly fell asleep there. Listen, Juno, I have to go. I'll see you later. Good luck. Bye. Anyway, we'll leave it there, folks. Have a good one. Good night. Talk to you soon.